I want to ask you if love is an eternal experience because some people make us feel more love than others. It's a vibration you find. You can talk about it.
You know, unconditional love is internal. And the more of that you experience internally, the more you experience externally. You know, but I'm talking about an energy. I'm talking about unconditional love, your divinity. Now, there's other aspects, no? There's attraction, there's romantic love, there's the love of a mother for a child, the father for a child. It's all love. But pure unconditional love comes from within and moves out. And that's what I'm teaching. At some point, you'll feel that love for everyone. There won't be any conditions. Obviously, you can have a stronger connection to someone or stronger attraction. You know, you love everyone, but it doesn't mean you want to have sex with them. You know, that's a different energy. Yeah, but I'm talking about what's you loving you and giving that love. But it always starts with you and it moves out. And the more you love yourself, the more love you can give and more love you can receive. Because when you love yourself, you're open to receive love. And when you love yourself, you're unlimited in your capacity to give love without conditions. Yeah? So that's what I'm talking about. Hmm?
I have a doubt. Lately, I've been in fashion something of family constellations. I never did that kind of program. But they say that you heal your ancestors and other lives.
Sure. You know, on some level, it's true, no? We're all a consequence of evolution. Your great grandfather evolves, your grandfather evolves to your evolves, and the new generation continue to evolve. No, it's a process. And yes, the patterns repeat, but the principal patterns, the patterns that are the most important, and the only ones that are important, is you. And you are normally a consequence of what transpires from when you're a child. That's where you learn separation. That's where you're trained on how to behave, how to respond. All of your circles come from when you're young. And you copy your parents. And they're the things you have to heal that hold you in limitation. I'm sure there's lots of wonderful things too. But there's aspects of dysfunctionability that affects you directly in this life, in this relationship that you're having with the world. So now everything's a process now. And yes, it's handed down the behaviors. And you learn from them. But in the ultimate instance, you have to heal the separation to yourself. And what's that? It has nothing to do with your parents. It's your separation from your divinity, your unconditional love, you finding your own perfection. And once you have that, everything else falls because it's illusionary. You use your parents to heal that, to see your programs, to see your victim, to see your patterns within your relationships, your belief systems. You know, that's why I say you have to question everything. Because most things you believe, you were taught. You were taught that. You were taught your religion. You were taught your political party. You were taught how to be a good boy or a bad boy, what was morally accepted, what was not morally accepted. You know, it's all a process. Experiences you had that affected you, that mark you, you have to release those. You know, but not to the point where you have to heal your relationship with your great 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 grandfather. You know, you'll 6 months you have to stay here for 60 years. You know, because it's all illusion, no? It's just ideas. Because when you heal the separation, that falls. It falls completely. You look at it like it happened to someone else. When you heal the separation to yourself, that falls. And all there is love and appreciation. But it's you healing with you.
My question is if spirituality goes against the faith or the religion that we have.
You know, the essence of all religion is an enlightened master. That's it. And that's spirituality. Be it Buddhism, be it Christianity, be it Muslim, it makes no difference. The essence was an enlightened master. But do you understand the enlightened master? Or do you have a concept that's generated through humans? You know, I understand Jesus perfectly from a place of unity, and there doesn't exist any fear. But maybe within religion, there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of ideas. I'm not saying it's bad, but you have to have the discernment to evolve enough to look for unconditional love. Religion, in its purest form, is spirituality. Spirituality, in its purest form, is religion. They're not separate. So it's up to you to find your truth. You know, I teach this to nuns. I teach this to priests. I teach it to Jews, Hindus, you name it. My system has nothing to do with belief systems. It's just love. And everyone thinks God's love, unless you're angry with him or her or whatever it is. Yeah, everyone agrees on that. Yes? Good.
I feel as if there is a thin line in this moment, specific with my work, because I'm enjoying so much, where it becomes something too obsessive, and where it goes from being in the total enjoyment to pass as like with sensation of lack.
You know, you have to stop projecting into the future with a negative idea and keep pushing the limits. You have to trust in yourself and in your consciousness. But the key is you're enjoying yourself. And that is the most important. Because you can have a lot of abundance
muchísima abundancia
in the bank,
en el banco,
like you've had,
como
which you're used to,
estás acostumbrado,
and be miserable.
y sentirte miserable.
So you have to be clear.
Entonces tienes que estar súper
You
claro.
know, every
Cada
growth
crecimiento
takes time.
lleva tiempo.
You push,
Empuja,
you trust,
confía,
it opens,
se abre.
it comes.
Bien.
You push, you
Empuja,
trust, you open. Always challenging,
siempre disfruta.
creating friction. But if you're loving what you're
Pero
doing,
si estás amando lo que estás
be in
haciendo,
the present
estar en el
moment
momento presente
and trust in
y
that.
confía en eso.
Because nothing worth having
Nada que valga la pena tener
is instant.
es instantáneo.
You know, this is what humans want.
Esto es lo que los humanos quieren.
They want instant everything.
Instantáneo todo.
And life's not
Pero
about
la
that.
vida no se trata
Life's
de
an
eso, la vida es una
experience. It's a growth. It's a path. It's a mastery.
es una maestría.
It's not
No es
instant.
instantáneo.
If it's instant,
Si fuera instantáneo,
it's hollow.
va a estar hueca.
It's addiction.
Es una adicción nomás.
It has no base,
No
no
tiene
root.
no tiene raíces.
You know, it's like you transplant it
Es como que la trasplantas,
and hope there's no wind.
esperando que no haya mucho viento.
But it's true.
Pero es así,
It's true.
es verdad.
And that's the joy of life.
Esa es la dicha de la
That
vida.
growth
Ese crecimiento
in something that's challenging
en
you,
algo que te está
that
desafiando,
makes you afraid.
que te hace asustar también.
That's great,
Eso es
because that makes you
fantástico,
grow.
porque eso te hace crecer.
So how do I stop being afraid?
¿Cómo dejo de estar
Oh,
asustada?
I have to be in the moment.
Tengo que estar en el
I have
momento
to train
presente.
myself to be in
Tengo
the
que
moment.
entrenarme a estar más en el momento.
I have to
Tengo que
trust in my
confiar en mi
consciousness.
conciencia.
I have to trust in this.
Tengo que confiar
This
en
is real. This is
esto es
secure.
real, esto es seguro.
It's the greatest teacher, no?
Es el maestro más grandioso.
It's great.
Es maravilloso.
I was wondering if you could talk about the difference between
Pero la diferencia entre
saying yes out of obligation
sí por obligación
and yes out of consciousness,
desde la conciencia,
and the opposite, saying no out of resistance
por la resistencia,
and saying no
sí, no,
out of a clear self-love.
en un amor claro con uno mismo.
Okay. So the thing is,
Cosa es,
often we have an automatic
a
no.
menudo tenemos un no automático.
Why?
¿Por qué?
Because we want control.
Porque queremos tener el control.
That resistance
Esa resistencia
comes from fear.
viene del miedo.
So we have to ask ourselves
Tenemos que preguntarnos
internally,
internamente.
instead of that instant
En vez del
rejection,
instantáneo rechazo,
go in
ir hacia adentro
and feel.
y sentir.
Because the truth
Porque la
is,
verdad es
nothing can affect
nada
consciousness.
puede afectar a la conciencia.
It can affect your ego,
Puede afectar tu ego,
but it can't affect your
pero no tu
consciousness.
conciencia.
Okay, so you need to go
Entonces,
in
tienes que ir hacia adentro,
connect,
conectarte,
and really see if you have a big
realmente
no,
ver si tienes un no muy grande,
because you're very clear it's no,
porque vas a estar muy clara de que es no.
or you're just being Argentinian and saying
Estás
no.
siendo tipo estilo argentino diciendo un no.
Okay, I know you have that bloodline,
Yo
no?
sé que tenés esa línea de sangre.
And the other thing
La
is,
otra cosa es,
if you're saying
si
yes
estás diciendo que
because you need someone to love you,
necesitas que alguien te ame,
or you can just say yes
simplemente puedes decir que sí,
because you love them
porque los amas tú a ellos.
and it's not affecting you really.
No afecta, no te afecta de verdad.
There's an energy.
Hay una energía.
If there's this,
Si está este,
if you've got to give something to you
si te
or
tienes
do
que dar
something
algo a
for
ti,
you,
hacer algo
and
por
that
ti,
imposes on that,
y eso impone sobre eso.
if you abandon yourself,
Si tú te abandonas a
you
ti
get
mismo,
resented.
te vas a resentir.
That's an energy.
Eso es una energía.
You have to be clear.
Tienes que estar clara.
Where is the love coming
¿De
from?
dónde está viniendo la
Is it inside of you,
¿Está adentro?
or are you grasping it
¿O
externally?
estás tratando de tomarlo externamente?
That's the question you have to
Esa
ask
es la
yourself.
pregunta en realidad que te tienes que hacer a ti.
Yeah? But you're intelligent enough to be
Pero
able
eres
to
lo
define that
suficientemente inteligente como para definirlo
and be clear.
y ser clara.
You know, go into your
Entra en
consciousness.
tu conciencia.
Do I really want to do that?
¿Realmente quiero hacer esto?
Or am I just doing it to
¿O lo estoy
please?
haciendo para
Or
complacer?
can I do it?
¿O puedo hacerlo?
It's really just something I want to give.
Es algo que quiero dar simplemente.
Hmm?
¿No?
Now you're more confused.
Estás más confundida ahora. Why when something it doesn't happen as I was expecting, as I think should be, especially in the area of relationships? My first reaction is to be violent and feeling guilt with myself and to feel guilt and blame myself and think that there is something bad and have to be softer with myself.
You know, the first thing you have to do
La primera cosa que tienes que hacer
within relationship
dentro de la relación
is let go of expectations, because that's what takes you to suffering.
es eso lo que te lleva a sufrir.
You know, not every relationship
Cada relación
is let's get married and have
es
children.
a casarnos y tener hijos.
You know, you have to be more in the moment,
Estar más en el momento,
focused on enjoying yourself.
disfrutarse,
You know, he's here,
darte, está aquí
he's gone.
y se fue de
Oh well,
Y bueno,
it doesn't matter.
en realidad,
If he's gone,
si se fue,
he's not for you.
no era para
You're not
ti.
going to chase after him,
Vas a
are you?
perseguirlo, ¿verdad?
No.
No.
So stop having expectation.
Deja de tener expectativas.
Whatever's meant to happen within a relationship, it's natural. It grows. It leads to wherever it's going. And not all relationships are permanent. And none of them define you. The only thing that defines you is your relationship with yourself. And you love to torture yourself.
A ti te encanta autotorturar.
Oh, it's my fault. Why? It just is. Let people be themselves
Permitir que las personas sean ellos mismos
and listen to them.
y escucharles.
Don't project an idea.
Proyectes una idea en su
People always tell you who they are.
personas siempre te van a decir quiénes son.
If you think you have to change them,
¿Tú crees que tienes que cambiarlo?
they're not for you.
No es para ti.
This is sure.
Eso es seguro.
If you have to fix him,
Si tú tienes que arreglarlo,
don't bother.
ni te preocupes.
Okay? Because he is not fixable.
Que no es arreglable
Certainly not by you.
y no arreglable por ti. Seguro.
Okay? You have to focus on you
Tienes que enfocarte en ti
and let go quickly.
y soltar más rápido.
None of this torture.
No
Oh,
toda esta tortura.
there's something wrong with me. I did something wrong. I was too this, I was too that. If you're not free to be you,
Si no eres libre de ser tú misma,
that person's not for
esa
you.
persona no es para ti.
If you can't speak your
No
truth,
puedes hablar tu verdad.
that person's not for you. If you tell someone you love them
Dices a alguien que lo amas
and they run away,
y sale corriendo,
that person's not for you.
pero no es para ti.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, bye. But I love you. You know, women do this.
Las mujeres hacen,
Oh, he's afraid of commitment.
oh, tiene miedo al compromiso.
But he really wants me.
Pero realmente me quiere.
Huh? Oh.
And so I guess I want to just ask you about dissolving fears and insecurities into love.
Sol, amor,
For more love for me.
para más amor para mí. Una cosa es
It's normal when you're attracted to
que
someone,
es normal cuando estás atraída a alguien.
your image jumps up,
Y
no?
salta tu imagen enseguida.
And that's what makes you scared,
Es eso lo que te asusta.
because you're scared of being rejected
Porque tenés miedo de ser rechazada
or not being good enough.
o no ser suficientemente
And
buena.
that's the key,
Y esa es la clave.
where you have to really
Donde
anchor
tienes que realmente anclarte
and be really
y
you.
ser realmente tú misma.
Be really
Ser
honest
realmente
and
honesta y
open.
abierta.
And be willing to look
Está
stupid.
dispuesta a verte estúpida.
That's the most
Y eso es lo
important
más
thing.
importante.
Yeah? Because you're more than good enough for anyone.
Tú eres mucho más que buena y suficiente para cualquiera.
And you have to know that.
Tienes que saberlo, tienes que recordarlo.
And you have to remember that.
Tienes que recordarlo.
And it's not about you
Y no se
changing.
trata de que tú te modifiques
You
de
just
ninguna
need to
manera.
be you.
Solo tú necesitas ser tú misma.
And trust that's enough.
Y confiar que eso es más que suficiente.
And if that person's for you,
Y si esa persona es para ti,
he's there.
él va a estar ahí.
He's there.
Está ahí.
And if he's not,
Y si no lo es,
he's gone.
se fue.
There's no shortage.
No, igual no hay escasez, así que
Yeah,
tranquila.
there's millions of
Hay
them.
millones de ellos.
Yeah. And don't just take the first
Y
one.
no agarres al primero que
Try a
aparezca.
few.
Trata unos cuantos, probá. How can we transform internally the groups? For example, I have a tendency to feel rejected at work, men in general.
You know, the thing is with you,
La cosa contigo es
you have to stop rejecting you.
que tú tienes que dejar de rechazarte.
You know, for me, it's the craziest
Para mí
thing.
es la cosa más loca.
I look at you
Porque te miro
and you're so
y
perfect
eres tan perfecta
and you've got so much
y
insecurity.
tienes tanta inseguridad.
You're intelligent, you're
Eres
beautiful,
inteligente, eres
you've got
hermosa,
everything.
tienes todo de todo.
But you look in the mirror
Pero te miras al espejo
and you just
y
criticize,
solo te
criticize,
criticas,
criticize,
criticas,
criticize.
criticas,
No?
criticas, ¿no?
Okay, you have to start looking in the mirror.
Tienes que empezar a mirar al
You have to
espejo
start kissing
y
yourself in the
empezar a
mirror
besarte en el espejo.
and start
Y
really
empezar de verdad
just loving you.
a amarte.
And it doesn't matter what other
Y en
people
realidad lo
do.
que piensen o hagan otras personas
It's
no
not
importa.
important.
No es importante.
Let them do what they
Que
want,
hagan lo que quieran,
because then you'll stop creating that.
porque después vas a dejar de
But if you're
crear.
walking
Pero
around
si andas caminando por ahí,
worrying if someone's going to reject you,
preocupándote si alguien te va a rechazar
what
o no,
happens?
¿qué sucede?
They reject you.
Te van a rechazar.
Focus on the facet.
Enfócate en la faceta,
Focus on
esa
love.
faceta. Enfócate en el
Focus on
amor.
what you want,
Enfócate en lo que sí quieres.
because you're always worrying about what you
Porque
don't
siempre te
want.
preocupas por lo que no quieres que pase.
And you're so powerful,
Y eres tan poderosa
you create it.
que es lo que vas a crear
A fool.
completamente.
Do you see?
¿Lo ves?
So you have to be more ruthless with the
Entonces, tienes que ser más
facets
implacable con el uso de las facetas.
and stop trying to create that.
Deja de tratar de crear
You have a
eso,
magnet.
porque tienes un imán.
I used to have that
Yo solía
for
tener eso
abandonment.
también, con el abandono.
I'd always create something really
Siempre creaba
complicated.
algo realmente complicado.
So there was no commitment
Así no había compromiso
to
posible
confirm
para confirmar
something internally.
algo interno,
I wasn't even conscious of
de
it,
lo que yo ni siquiera era consciente,
but I associated that with
pero
love.
lo asociaba con amor.
And I've healed that
Lo
completely.
sané completamente.
And you can
Y
too,
tú puedes también,
with the system.
usando el sistema.
And you can
Y
too.
tú puedes
There's no
también.
magic
O
trick.
sea, no hay truco mágico.
You just have to decide to
Solo
do
tienes
it.
que decidir hacerlo.
And stop seeing things as
Y deja de ver
rejection.
las cosas como rechazo,
It just is what it is.
porque es lo que
That
es.
defines that
Eso
person,
define a esa persona.
not
no a
you.
ti.
You define you.
Tú te defines a ti.
You.
Tú.
Because there's nothing wrong with you. What's
No
wrong
hay
with you?
nada malo
Nothing.
contigo. ¿Qué está mal contigo? Nada.
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 Not long ago, I broke with my marriage. Our relation was very toxic. I wanted Tool to be strong, to remain separate.
You know, you came here
Llegaste hasta aquí.
and you need to let everything go.
Y acá tenés que aprovechar y mover y mover y mover y soltar todo.
All your sadness, all your
Todo el
resentment.
resentimiento, toda la tristeza.
Because clearly in this
Porque
moment,
claramente en este momento
it doesn't serve.
no sirve.
The relationship's
La
negative.
relación es negativa,
It doesn't
no
serve.
sirve.
And we always have that
Y uno
romanticism
siempre tiene ese
of, yes,
romanticismo,
I'm
¿no?
still in love
Sí,
and
todavía
da da da
sigo
da 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 da.
enamorada.
But I have a question for you.
Pero tengo una pregunta que hacerte.
Are you in love with you?
¿Estás enamorada de ti?
And the answer is
La
no.
respuesta ahí sería no.
I'm going to answer the question as
Te
well.
voy a responder a tu pregunta también.
So now
Ahora
you're going to focus on loving
vas a
you.
enfocarte en amarte, en amarte
All
como
that
eres.
energy you gave to the relationship,
Pusiste en la relación,
trying to fix it,
tratando de
trying to make it
tratando
work,
de hacer que funcione,
it's for you now.
es para vos ahora.
You have to expand your
Tenés que expandir tu
consciousness,
conciencia,
heal your
sanar
circles,
tus surcos internos,
until you have something so
hasta que
powerful,
vas a crear internamente algo tan
you
poderoso,
don't want
no
anything
vas a querer ninguna cosa
that doesn't feed your internal love,
alimente tu amor interno,
because that's what's important.
porque eso es lo más importante.
And you're in a great
Y
moment,
estás en un momento maravilloso.
because now you can give
Porque ahora
all that
vas
love
a
to
poder
you.
darte todo ese amor a vos.
and be just clear. In this moment, it's me, me, and me, and my son, you know, or whatever. But firstly, you. Yeah, and the systems for that. You'll see before you leave, using the facets. You'll get out of your head and start sitting here and feeling, oh, thank God I left. Forget that. You did nothing wrong. You loving you in a healthy way is the greatest gift you can give any child. You in a toxic relationship does not serve any child. No, so to stop the guilt, you know, that's the old teachings. And you just start loving you. And really look at yourself and say, how brave I am. You know, I'm doing this for me. Ultimately, it's affecting my son. Okay, and really appreciate yourself. And look for support.
How to be loving in a hateful or envious atmosphere. How to maintain the love if that is sustainable.
You know, when you love yourself completely, internally, people can be how they want, but it doesn't affect you. Because one thing's for sure, you can't change other people. And a lot of ambience are very competitive. There's a lot of jealousy. I don't know what you do. But anyway, if you're seeing that externally, you have to heal it internally. And allow people to be how they want to be. You know, people are immature. Do you dislike them for that? No. They're just immature. You have to be loving with you. But there's some aspect, even if you're not conscious of it, that you feel guilt. You think it's your fault on some level, and you have to heal that. And that's internal. It's something you have to heal internally. And when you heal that, whatever transpires externally won't affect you so much. Yeah, but the world's like that. We've been taught to compete. It's the first thing we're taught. Compete with our siblings, compete with our classmates, compete with our idols, compete, compete, compete. And that's how people define themselves, through winning, through being the best. So it's always like that. But you have to be beyond that. You have to decide who you want to be.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.